Hello everybody, welcome back to another Warframe video. Now, we are going to do another build. I know this is unusual for me, 2 videos back to back, but you guys really seem to enjoy the Zephyr builds, so I'm giving you a build for actually my first Prime Warframe. Now, at the time, this Warframe was a vaulted Warframe. She couldn't earn her relics. She just had to get lucky that some randoms were using her relics and relic openings, and that's what happened to me. So this is my first Prime Warframe I ever got. I was disappointed at first because I didn't understand how she works, so I was like, oh, this is disappointing. But then I figured out how she works, and she's arguably my third most favorite frame. So, let's get into the build. First off, it is Equinox. Now, as I said before, at the time when I got her, this was a vaulted frame. You couldn't go to activities and earn her relics. You had to either buy them from players, wait for a prime resurgence, or you hope randoms had her relics and they used them. And that's what happened to me. Randoms used her relics. I got a full set of her. I built her. Like I said, I was confused how she worked, but now but arguably she's my third most favorite frame in the entire game. So, we are going for a survivability with a little bit of a nuking set. I want to say nuking, but a little bit of a more of a survivability build. First off, we replaced her first ability with Terrify because of the armor reduction. Now, it's at 87, but I'm going to show you a couple things that we're going to do to fix that. So first off, catalyzing shields. This mod is important for the build we're going for because of the shield gating for the survivability. So that way you don't die, because arguably without shield gating and her fourth ability, she is so squishy. I would she is squishier than a pillow. So yeah, you need catalyzing shield with her fourth ability. Now, for Terrify, which is Necros' ability from the helmet, you're gonna want Creeping Terrify because, okay, I tried it without Creeping Terrify, and it was not a good idea. I learned that it is very important to have your enemies slowed, because if they're at normal movement speed, they go everywhere. It's hard to catch up to them, so you want Creeping Terrify so they're slowed, and you want Terrify for the armor reduction on enemies. Because the other part of her Men is Man, which is a heavy damage dealing ability, but in this case we're not using it for damage. We're using it for survivability. This right here, Terrify, will help us with killing enemies so that we don't get murked. Now, you're gonna want 2 Umbra mods. And you're going to need Mult Augmented. This is a arcane from the Zariman. Once you get max rank with the Zariman, you can start grinding for standing and buy a lot of this arcane. You're gonna need this. I recommend obviously rank 5, but just get one. You're gonna need it. Your other arcane slot is completely free. I have Arcane Blessing, but this is a completely free slot. Arcane Energize is probably a decent one to put down. What else? Just use whatever you think is going to be useful for your second arcane slot, if you have any. 2 Umbra mods with the mod augmented will get you to the 100% armor reduction to help you kill enemies faster, and therefore getting your shield gating back easily. Now, you're going to need Rage or Hunter Adrenaline, because this build is slightly heavy on the energy cost with her fourth, and if you use her third ability for the damage reduction from enemies that are within the circle, it really is energy taxing by a lot. So you're gonna need it. I can guarantee it. So yeah, that is overall the build that I use. Is a survivability which is a survivability Equinox with her night form, and I use Terrify with decent strength to get the armor reduction on enemies so that I can kill them faster. Therefore, not dying is easy. The only problem and even then it's still not the biggest problem in the world, which is a energy problem. Now, in terms of Archon shards, I do recommend having 2 or 3 blue ones giving you energy. 2 or 3 blue shards giving you energy is nice. Now, I honestly recommend having 1 amber shard with some energy orb effectiveness, aka you just get more energy from a energy orb. Therefore, you won't run out of energy that badly. I recommend any good AoE weapon. So some like the Tsar, Exceltra, the Brahma, or any of the Incarnate weapons, specifically the Strun or the Latrin. These weapons will do you really well with this build. That way you're nuking lots of enemies and getting lots of shield. Lots of shield. So yeah, that is the build I've been using for Equinox. There is another build I have been working on, and that is for her other side, which is doing damage with her 4th ability. Now, of course, this is for dealing damage, which means survivability completely goes out of the window. So I'm currently just testing stuff out and seeing what is best for this build. So when I get this build all, I guess, perfected, so to speak, or not, I wouldn't say perfected, but this build to where I'm not getting fucked in the ass so easily, I'll make a video on this other build in the process. So yeah, that is essentially the Equinox build I have been using. It is a survivability build with Creep and Terrify for the armor reduction to deal with enemies quicker. And catalyzing shields to get shield gating for survivability, adaptation. The only problem with this build is energy problems, but still, that can be rectified with other ways. And it helps that her passive ability gives you 10% energy when you pick up a health orb. So you're going to want a pet or a cat with scent fiber. That way you can always pick up a health orb. So, yeah. That is the build I've been using for Equinox. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry that I'm not exactly super hyped, or my explanation of the build is half-assed. I am not awake fully. And, well, that's not really a good excuse. I don't exactly know how to explain this build fully. Or properly, I should say. But still, that is the build I'm using Equinox. It's a survivability with Creep and Terrify. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you're new here, hit that sub button for more videos of this one right here. For either gameplay, in my opinion, tips, hopefully helpful, or it's general gameplay. Peace out, love you all, stay healthy, and yeah, love you all. Have a good one.